If you guys want to talk about whatever you want to talk, I think the topic is just, does God exist? I'll just make sure that no one's
Yep.
a dickhead.
I'm just going to stay silent during this, guys. So enjoy the debate.
Thank you, DJ. All right. So have you got any arguments for the existence of God, DJ?
Well, since you challenged me to the debate, I was going to first ask by you laying down your argument for atheism.
Sure. There's no. Well, it's atheism to your conception of divinity, right? This is not a uniform argument against all theological concepts of God.
What? So you're only arguing against what I believe in?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm not interested in debating that. Are you actually going to defend your position and actually support atheism?
What? Sure. I mean, obviously, if I'm going to debate your position, I'm going to defend mine, right? That's obvious.
No, but are you accepting that there's are you accepting that there's a possibility that you could be wrong on the atheism and that there could be a chance for a God, just not my conception of God?
Not for a supernatural position, no. So if you're arguing for a supernatural creator, agent, whatever bullshit, then I'm arguing against that.
So you're just reducing it all down to naturalism. You're not going to make any transcendental positions or ontological statements.
Correct.
And you can justify that.
Yep.
So what's your evidence for atheism?
What do you mean atheism? Atheism is just a lack of belief in something.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Excuse me, it's not saying to you that the universe, for how and why it exists, can be explained by the universe?
Yes, by nothing external to it, yeah.
So what's the explanation for the universe?
So what do you mean by explanation? How did it come to be?
Yeah.
It didn't come to be.
It didn't come to be?
Correct.
Okay, and what evidence are you using to support that claim?
I'm using general relativity, special relativity. I'm using a priori commitments laid out by neo-Hegelian concepts of time itself, philosophy of time. I'm using mereological concepts such as gun theory, which entail that substance can be divided infinitely. I have models of mathematics to back this up. I have philosophy of time, philosophy of science, philosophy of space-time. What would you like? What evidence would you like?
So Einstein, let's go for the first one. You absolutely just bluffed your way through. So Einstein's theory of special relativity, does that give an indication that the universe has always been, or that the universe had a beginning?
Correct. Nope. It says that the universe has always
so
been.
what part of that actually suggests that it was always been?
The relative model of both general and special relativity to account for eternalist models of the universe. Eternalist models of time.
And are you care to show where that exists in the theory?
Sure, 1,000,000%. Just give me a second.
Thank you.
Give me a second. Would you like a philosophy of time paper? Would you like Einsteinian conceptions of B theory? What would you like? I can give you anything. I'll go
somewhere it mentions your specific claim, because
Sure.
I just don't believe it's saying that, because then it leads into the Big Bang, which Einstein had to actually come to terms to understand that yes, the universe wasn't always eternal, but it actually did have a beginning.
No, the universe, the inflation model has a beginning. So if you have a concept of a block universe, which suggests that there's been a time, and spatiotemporal events have had, even if they had a first moment where expansion began or inflation theory, those points of the spatiotemporal events, there's the time-space-time block is itself eternal. So think about a CD, right? If you have a CD, you have a first song that can play on that CD or DVD or whatever the fuck, or record. And basically the idea is that there's going to be a first song, there's going to be a second song, there's going to be a final song, whatever. So the idea is that when you start playing the record, the music doesn't start playing at the time when you press play or put down the needle on the record. It's just the stuff that's recorded onto the record player. But that doesn't mean there's not a first event on that record. It doesn't mean there's not a first song. It just means that the songs, the Big Bang event is eternal.
Yeah, this is too much Marvel. This is going into the Mobius
It's not too much Marvel. This is called physics.
So this is going into like Mobius strip theory in terms of Marvel. When Iron Man knew how if he had the Mobius strip, if he split the timeline, it doesn't branch into two different timelines.
You haven't read up on general relativity and you haven't read up on B theory. But that's okay. I'll give you some references.
So when you're saying that time is like a CD, where are you deriving this from?
from the literature that was proposed by both philosophers of science and time and mathematicians who backed up the theory using. So you want to look at Minkowski's space-time model, which is a mathematical model, which Einstein used to compose his general and special relativities, which have made all the successful predictions that it has. And if you would like to see that,
all these theories predating the Big Bang.
What?
Yes, these theories were predating the Big Bang, weren't they?
What do you mean? Predating, like the whole block itself is eternal. It's not saying that the Big Bang
we can look at those series which you've discussed about, and then what have been our contemporary findings with the James Webb Telescope.
The James Telescope. What? The James Webb Telescope? Did you say?
Yes.
I don't know what the specific findings are of the telescope, but the telescope is looking inside the model itself. Why would that be a prediction of the?
Not looking; it's actually looking out into space and looking at lights. And is it noticing that objects within their particular galaxies and gravities are moving away from each other or getting closer?
They're moving away. Obviously, there's inflation.
Okay, now that's falling into the line of a universe which has no beginning.
What? I already said the inflation has beginning. I'm not saying the universe is. I'm saying the universe is eternal. The space-time block is eternal, and these events that are inflationary events are recurring as the CD is being played out. If you want to use the CD analogy, like, are you tracking what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm tracking what you're saying, and you're presupposing the time is in a consistent loop.
I'm not presupposing.
So if time is like a CD. This conversation is being played an infinite amount of times on loop.
Cyclical. No, well, it doesn't have to be cyclical,
right? That's the Marvel universe.
No, it's not Marvel universe, dude. Like, just read the. I can send you. Oh, okay. So you're not going to read the literature. You're just going to claim that it's Marvel. Like, have you read any of the literature?
The literature that you're going to propose is actually it's predating the Big Bang, and it's also predating modern cosmology. So you're using a bunch of theories which were very prevalent in the 19th to early 20th century.
No,
now they're not.
So these
are the question, Snowy. How old is the universe? How old is the universe?
The inflation event. I'll tell you if you just if you calm down. So the inflation event began 14 point whatever billion years ago. Yes, that's the first moment of inflation. Has nothing to do with the existence of the content of the universe. Nothing.
But how is a singularity a universe when a universe is talking about what's singular in multiplicity?
What do you mean singular and multiplicity? What does that mean?
Multiverse is one in the many.
I'm not talking about a multiverse. I'm talking about the space-time.
Before that, it was a singularity, so it doesn't meet the conditions of being a universe.
Why? What? The entire content of what is in the universe? New matter is emerging. The energy cannot be created or destroyed. Yes, it was singular. What's that got to do with the universe coming to existence?
That doesn't mean it's universe, because universe is one in the many. It's one. It's many things in one.
Wait, what? What is this a proprietary definition? Where does it say that? You're just using Platonic definitions here. The one and the many. What the hell is that got to do with contemporary cosmology?
Time is like a CD. You've been using like 19th century philosophy to prove that, even though 21st century cosmology disproves that.
No. This is 21st. This is contemporary philosophy. If you look at the theories of time currently used, B and C theories are the most popular by a country mile. Eternalism is the standard model. That's how we use basically, I said, you can interpret both general and special relativity on those accounts. There's nobody that disputes this in the world of physics. Nobody. No serious physician that I've or theoretical physicist I've seen has rejected B theory interpolations of the theories of time. Nobody. It just doesn't exist. I can give you shit tons of literature if you want to actually read it, but I think you don't want to. You're just already dismissing it as Marvel crap. Just read it if you're genuine and if you're actually seeking.
So your argument hinges on reading it. So your argument for your atheism is because you believe in the big theory of time.
You're rejecting it because you're rejecting my evidence. So obviously, I'm going to have for you to read it because obviously you're not convinced by whatever I'm saying.
You need to present something first, right? So if you can present a specific claim, where is it?
And you have to read it. I have presented in the side chat. Read it in the side chat.
All right. So how long is this going to take me to read?
I do not know. It depends on your speed and your ability.
I'll read it and I'll start reading it. Right. Instead of you producing the specific claim within the thing, I'll have to go through and read it. So I guess you'll just have to chill out for an hour.
I do think that Snow, is it like a 100-page book or something?
No, well, I mean, look, he wants evidence. He's not trusting what I'm saying. He's not trusting my accounts. So, other than giving him transferring information out of my brain
Well, do I
into
have
his
to
brain,
stop the
there's no other
debate
way
to
than
go and
him
read
to
this?
read the stuff.
Snowy,
Yeah.
Snowy, so I will stop the debate now and go and read it, and then I'll come back after I finish reading it, since that's what you want.
I would
Instead of
say,
you posting the specific claim, I'll go through
Yes.
and read the entire thing and try to guess on what you're talking about.
yeah, I would say that
Right.
Snowy, it would be better. I know you don't hear his sarcasm like I do, but it would be better if you were able to like summarize some stuff and we could just honestly take your word for it.
I did some, bro. I summarized it, but he's refusing to. He's like, oh, it's Marvel bullshit. It's
Sure.
Iron Man. So what am I gonna do?
Yeah,
What the fuck? Like, he's not
I
gonna
would
take
say,
my word for it. He's gonna read my sources then, right?
I would say this: if you want
Well,
to reset,
I'm going to read your source, but then it means we can't talk and have a debate for like 1 or 2 hours until I read the source, or however long it takes me.
I would say that
So-
what I would say is that Snowy, if you wanted to summarize and we could honestly take your word for it, but if ADJ doesn't want to take your word for it, then we would actually have to stop, which is kind of lame, but it would be what we would have to do regardless.
Yeah, I mean, that's up to him, right? I can't convince him
Like
to.
ADJ, if he summarized what he gave to you, would you accept it as like? Would you take his word for it, or do you actually want to?
I don't take anyone's word for it. I want to see the sources.
There you go. So
Okay.
let him read it then. I got no option.
But
All right. Well, then I guess we'll stop, and I'll take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours to read it, and then I'll get back to you.
Yep.
There's the pointless is because people.
Blah, 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 blah.
Last point I'll make. Is he gone? No. ADJ, would you accept it for the sake of argument, like at all?
No, because it's going into
Well.
too much theory. So if he's going to have like wild extrapolations to say, because B theory things, you're arguing about it. So I'm going to go read it now, and then I'll get back to you when I finish reading it. And then what I'll do is once I finish reading it, I'll guess the part that you're talking about.
All right. Sure.
All right. Since you posted 3 of them, I guess I'll read all 3 of them.
There's actually more. I can keep posting them.
Oh, well, if that's what it's relying on the thing, like if that's how you want to have this debate, that's fine. But what typically would happen, right? If I was citing to you something from, say, the Bible or something from academia, what I would do is I would post you a link so you can read through more pages of the book so you know that I'm not cherry picking. But I would also send you a screenshot of the part which I'm citing from. That just makes it a whole lot easier rather than just, here's a book. Good luck.
Well, I mean, the idea is that the entirety of the article is going to get into the nuances of how the theory is supported by. So it's not just going to flesh out the theory and then it's going to relate the theory to the scientific.
Well, you think it's going to do that, but again, I've been swindled before when people make claims, drop.
Well, dude, I mean, I don't know what to do, dude. Like, if you don't want to take my word for it and you don't want to read it, then I can't do anything about it. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm going to read it, but again, that means we can't have a debate just yet because the whole thing is. Okay, all right, cool. Well, then we'll stop talking and I'll talk to you later then.
See ya.
That was a good debate. Wow.
Yep. Smashed it. I can keep posting links, by the way. Like, yeah.
I'm sure you could, man. I'm sure you could. But you know what I don't think you could do?
I can.
I don't think you could pull out the specific extract within the article and what you think is talking about.
I could do that too. I could do that too.
Then we can keep talking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you wanted to read it. You take... wait.
Snowy. It would take me...
ADJ.
All right, Snowy, what would be faster for us to continue the debate? You going to the source, which you probably have already read, which you should have already read, and you would know exactly where it is.
That's why I'm posting them.
Great. So what would be quicker, me reading it or you pulling out the exact piece?
No, you reading it because me explaining it, you clearly think it's some Marvel fantasy. So I expect you to go and read it in your own time, in your own. Yeah. So I mean, there's no confusion, right? There's no.
So we'll just that's done.
Marvel comic. Yeah, it's done, man. What are you hanging around for? Read it. Go ahead.
We're just narrative framing at this point, I think.
Yeah, I just read the sources and they said that it says Snowy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Ah, of course.
Why do you need to read it? Can't you just put it through ChatGPT?
I actually don't use ChatGPT.
Not entertaining.
So Snowy, thanks to the debate, man, but that was pretty much a waste of time.
Oh, good.
I thought you were gonna read some articles.
Thank you.
Are you not gonna read some articles, or were you lying?
No, I was actually lying about that. I wasn't probably going to read them, so.